welcome to BDSM.
Breaking it down with Sam and Matt.
Where we mock the news so you don't have to.
Our top story this week, Brett Kavanaugh was formally appointed to the Supreme Court. He said at his confirmation hearing, "My history of blackout drinking will not get in the way of my pledge to block abortion and promote guns for all Americans. In fact, it's a big help," Trump added. In his closing statements, Kavanaugh said his aim was to revitalize the American dream, paraphrasing Herbert Hoover when he promised a gun in every home and 2 babies in every dumpster.
On Wednesday, a New York Times investigation found that President Donald Trump, who has long sold himself a self-made billionaire, embezzled at least $413 million in today's dollars. For Trump fans, that's about 2 million Confederate dollars. We should really just measure this in cans of Coke. Donald Trump embezzled 400 million cans of Coke, or as he calls it, breakfast.
The underwhelming public response to this has been largely attributed to news cycle fatigue. Nearly 7 in 10 Americans feel overwhelmed by the amount of news there is, despite the fact 3 weeks ago Kylie Jenner discovered cereal with milk and people are still freaking the fuck out. But for real, why are you emphasizing with milk? What did you used to eat it with? Cristal?
A rare bottle of single malt scotch was bought for more than 1.1 million in Edinburgh, Scotland, making it the world's most expensive bottle of whiskey to be sold at auction. The winning bid for the 60-year-old Macallan Valerio Ademi was made by a Chinese collector, proving what currency speculators have long thought: poisonous breadwater is a better investment than the yuan.
In other China news, the BBC reported Interpol chief Meng Hongwei vanished on a trip to China. He was taken in by authorities for questioning and hasn't been seen since. So, he didn't vanish, he got vanished. How afraid is the BBC of the Communist Party? We estimate about as scared as the Chinese are. But what's so scary about China?
Soldiers fired automatic weapons into crowds of civilians, and the casualties were staggering. The Chinese Red Cross says at least 2,600 people were killed. The students claim thousands of others were wounded.
Oh yeah, right.
A new shortcut can allow Siri to discreetly record interactions between law enforcement. When asked about this, Siri said she was moving on from the NSA and looking to narc for more of a guy next door type.
Do you really think your own personal spy is going to side with you over the police?
Sure, I mean, if there's anything I've learned from cop movies, it's that the feds hate working with the local force.
A Louisiana man told police a ghost planted meth on him after police officers responded to calls of an axe attacker in the man's home. Once taken into custody, he used his one phone call to call Ghostbusters. Reports indicate he refused their help when the cast of the all-female reboot returned his call. Police also turned up an iPhone that mysteriously still had Siri running. When confronted with this information, the man with the ghost meth said, "Siri, you two-faced bitch, I thought we had something special."
The remains of a Navy pilot from West Texas will be returned to his widow more than 50 years after he and his jet disappeared during the Vietnam War. The widow was quoted as saying, "What? No, I don't want him. What the hell am I going to do with a dead body? Put him in the ground." Wasn't he already in the ground? The jet's family couldn't be reached for comment.
This weekend, the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to anti-rape activists Nadia Murad and Denis Mukwege over odds-on favorites Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. In a shocking upset, raping lost to not raping. Experts predict the anti-rape bandwagon will grow exponentially through 2019.
Disgraced former police officer Timothy Laidman has been reinstated. Laidman is infamously known as the Cleveland officer who shot 12-year-old Tamir Rice. Police Chief Dick Flanagan was quoted saying he was unemployed in Cleveland for the 4 years LeBron James was back. That seems like penalty enough.
LGBTQ groups are up in arms after a transgender girl was barred from using both the boys' and girls' locker room during a lockdown safety drill at her middle school in Stafford County, Virginia last week. Stafford County School District responded to this outrage saying, "We believe the only way to be 100% safe from a gunman is if you're fully nude in your appropriate changing room."
A man who tricked 4 men into having sex with him by pretending to be a woman online, has been convicted. Duarte Xavier, 33, posed as Anna, sent the men explicit photos and videos of women he claimed to be, and encouraged his victims to meet him blindfolded. The men became suspicious while having sex with Xavier when they felt his balls slapping against theirs.
Last week, a Toronto man roundhouse kicked a female pro-life demonstrator in the head, and every comedian in the world wrote a joke about it.
It's against the law.
Somebody gets raped by somebody and they're like, I'm a 16-year-old and I can't have this baby. Think you should keep it?
It's a baby.
Yeah.
If someone was raped and she gave birth and she decided to kill her 3-year-old child.
I meant to get your phone.
Sources say this is because they have no lives of their own to write about. Go kick a woman in the head for yourself, you lazy bastards. That was all the news that's fit to make fun of this week. For BDSM, I'm Sam.
And I'm Matt. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And tune in next week when we finish burying our careers.